So today I will be playing with this action figure here. Now this little guy is bendable, which was important to me, and I bought him off eBay rather cheaply. And I picked him because I think I can alter him rather easily. First of all, I want to get him dressed differently, and for that I use this little Barbie shirt. Now it's more or less the right size. I do have to shorten the sleeves, but all in all it will save me a lot of time. I don't have to design and sew a shirt from scratch, especially because I'm not a seamstress. I can do simple things, I can do repairs, but this makes it way easier. I also add a little slit to the now jacket in the back there, and then I took those pieces I cut off the sleeves and used them to attach some pockets. All those steps I did with glue, as everything is going to get painted eventually. So there is his shirt. Now for a pair of pants, I couldn't find anything ready-made. So I sewed this together out of two rectangles. I didn't bother to make a waistband. I made it pretty big too because this guy has the holster here on the side and it needs to go over it. Then when it's once on him, I can always tighten it up. Now I made those pants with long legs, but eventually I want him to have 3/4 legs. But to have that extra material will give me extra folds and wrinkles, which I think will add to the three-dimensional effect. And I right away added a string through the seam of his pant leg, and that helps me to tighten it, move it up, and keep it in place. So cutting the strings off, and then next I want to work a little bit on his boots and on his gloves. Now this guy is not perfect in his dimensions. The boots bend kind of in a bit of a funny way, but it will do. So I add a little piece here on the top for a cuff. I also will add some tiny pieces for some buckles on his shoes. And then I also add something to the top of his gloves just to make them stand out a little more and give them a little more interest. Now I don't play with dolls or action figures anymore, so I'm absolutely winging this. Everything is a bit small and a bit tedious, but I want to use this guy on one of my upcoming projects. But making him took me quite a while, so I didn't want to cover it all in one video. And that's why I show you this transformation today, and then the rest of the project will come up next week. Now next, this fellow needs a hat, a top hat, and rather than making it completely out of this craft foam, I use a bottle top and just make the rim out of the foam, and that needs to dry really well. Then I will cut out the inner circle. And now it's time to fit his pants a little bit better. Again, I just use the glue because I'm not planning to ever undress this fellow. Now a little bit of glue in the front so I can close the jacket, and then I want to add some buttons. Now I looked around but I couldn't find anything that was small enough to fit the size. So instead I'm making these little three-dimensional dots, and I think that will work. I also add some of them on the buckles, a little bit to the front of his shoes, and then of course all that has to dry. Now I think there's just one more step I'd like to explain to you before I turn you over to some music. Most of the rest of my alteration here is painting, very easy for you to follow, and like always I will put all my mediums in the captions. I start by adding black gesso to this little guy, like in so many of my projects, and it's pretty simple. It's a little fiddly around his neck because I don't want to get it on his face, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward. So here he is all black, and you can see that something happened here to his knees. The folds in his pants just looked a little bit too frilly to me. So I took a piece from a balloon here and I stretched it and just added it to the end of his pant legs, and it just kind of covers that part up and makes it look a little more manly. But of course it's blue, so I have to color it black, which is easy, and then I will go on with the rest of the coloration. So please enjoy the process, and I will talk to you towards the end. So for now, my alteration is done, unless I can think of something else to add to him. You can see his goggles and his little keychain and all the folds in his clothing. And I think he looks quite cool, and I can't wait to let him play his part in my next project. I quite enjoyed dressing up this little guy, and I hope you had a good time today as well. Thank you for coming. I see you soon again, latest by next week. Stay safe and bye bye for now.